US Airlines ask for more money, Kodak may not see its loan, and competitors still complain about Apple. The hottest news of the financial world is already here. Attention! Now is the right moment to subscribe to the channel and tap the bell. You don't want to miss anything, do you? Click right now. And we're starting. Hello everyone, it's the RoboMarkets channel back with the top financial stories of the week. Let's start with the almost forgotten airlines. On Thursday, September 17th, the CEOs of US carriers met with Mark Meadows, the White House Chief of Staff, with the airlines asking for an additional $25 billion in financial aid. Among the applicants were executives from United Airlines, Southwest, and American Airlines. President Trump has supported giving money to this business, while Congress is still discussing a possible scope of this aid package. The meeting itself caused shares of the mentioned companies to fall, with Southwest losing 4%, American Airlines 1.2%, and Delta 1.8%. But it's worth mentioning that US government has already allocated $25 billion in the form of cash grants and loans to the airlines earlier this year. The companies could use this money only on the condition that they maintain all their employees and their benefits through to September the 30th this year. And with the deadline fast approaching, it's becoming very clear that mass layoffs are still inevitable. With this being something that Doug Parker, CEO of American Airlines, drew attention to in his letter to the authorities, with the fact that airlines are still at a disadvantage amid the current pandemic undeniable. So many people see this business as highly profitable, but in reality, it is not. Moreover, American companies are head over heels in billions of debt. So, even with the additional aid allocated, will the airlines survive the crisis? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. And here is another recent story involving the US government, this time an absurd one. In one of our previous videos, we talked about the fact that Kodak stocks have spiked. This following the news that the government would lend it $765 million to develop their pharmaceutical business. Well, the whole story turned out to be nothing more than a mistake, both on the part of the government and the company's PR department. So it turns out that the deal with Kodak was just a signed letter of interest, which indicated that the loan might be done in the future. Meanwhile, the information slipped out into the media as an already accomplished fact. Donald Trump also added some fuel by calling the deal one of the most important in the US pharmaceutical industry's history. On the 7th of August, the deal was suspended and still remains frozen, with an investigation now launched into insider trading, which could have been arranged by the company's shareholders. After all, the Kodak shares were in some form of agony. Following the news about the loan on July the 28th, their price went up from $2 to $60, followed by a natural decline. On Wednesday, after the WSJ publication with the company's internal investigation results, the share price rose from $6 to almost $12. What happens to Kodak shares is based solely on expectations and publicity, so whether the company will eventually receive the money and enter the pharmaceutical business as planned remains to be seen. Meanwhile, we have news about some of our recent IPOs we talked about. Last week's hero was Snowflake, a cloud solutions developer whose IPO had become the largest of its kind in recent years. On September 16th, which was the first day of trading, Snowflake shares were worth $245 at the market open. By close, they had risen nearly $9 to $253.93. This was followed by a slight drop on Thursday, September 17th, and an equally slight rise on Friday. Snowflake CEO Frank Slootman takes a philosophical view of the stock market. He compares stock prices to the weather, saying that their price is what it is, and one just needs to accept it. Investments from Warren Buffett and Salesforce Ventures also contributed to Snowflake's success. Salesforce can even become a fully fledged partner of the company by integrating Snowflake services into its commercial offer. But keep in mind that the newcomer is competing against giants such as Amazon, Microsoft, and Google. So the question is whether it can take its place in this business or whether it will remain a Salesforce accessory. Do you have an opinion on this matter? Then share it in the comment section down below. And we're moving on to yet another news story about Apple. And of course, it has already become a tradition to talk about the complaints against them. But firstly, on September 15th, during its traditional fall presentation, Apple announced the launch of Apple Ones, which is a single subscription to all of its services, including well-known company products and its new Fitness Plus service. The news negatively affected the stocks of Peloton Interactive, a fitness company offering a service very similar to Fitness Plus. with the reason being that investors believe that Apple could become Peloton's direct competitor. Spotify also felt pessimistic about the announcement. In their opinion, Apple puts competitors at a disadvantage by merely not giving its users a choice, as a single subscription to Apple services will allow you to receive all the necessary information and entertainment for just one payment instead of buying subscriptions from different companies. All in all, they may be right. Why buy a separate Spotify subscription when you have Apple Music with the same set of tracks and artists? However, not all Apple services can compete in the same way. For example, Apple TV has yet to compete with Netflix, and the new Fitness Plus service doesn't offer much of a competitive advantage over similar fitness apps. So it's clear that these claims to Apple will not go any further. Meanwhile, a recent lawsuit from Epic Games to restore Fortnite in the App Store was dismissed. Moreover, Apple deleted the company's entire developer account at the end of August, and so far, nothing has been heard from the US Anti-Monopoly Committee. So, with Apple easily able to fend off attacks from the media and competitors, will we ever see the end of this monopoly? Or is a dystopian future where corporations run states not far away? Speaking of a fantastic future, Sweden could become the first country to abolish cash circulation, with the country already having the lowest cash turnover globally, which in 2018 was only 1.3% of the country's GDP. For comparison, the same indicator in the USA was 8.2%, and in Europe was more than 10%. The pandemic has worsened the relationship with cash even more, as people do not want to touch the subject of potential infection and instead preferring contactless payments. On the one hand, it seems that everything is fine and humanity is moving in the right direction. However, not everything is so rosy. Right now, there is not enough cash in Sweden, so imagine if the technology fails them or if there is no electricity. Or else, if some brilliant hackers find loopholes in banking systems and, without guns and masks, quietly withdraw all funds from users' accounts. So, how will the Swedes deal with such a situation? Well, the question is, of course, an interesting one. Can the world ever completely abandon cash? Share your opinion with us in the comments, and in the meantime, we'll wrap up this video. Well, guys, if you made it to this part of the video, we just want to say a massive thank you. Subscribe to the channel to not miss the next video, and give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Apart from that, take care, and I'll see you next time.